One good thing that the COVID-19 pandemic has done is the focus that it has brought to the entire world into an area of increased health care awareness and its importance. We all, in our own personal space and capacity, have understood the best practices that we can incorporate in creating a high health awareness, and also has transformed drastically in the past 2 years the way things have been in the way we have been socially distancing ourselves, and the way that we have been in back into our home, we have been involved in keeping ourselves locked up in rooms. It has brought in a very different dimension to the way that we have started looking how healthcare is important to our own selves. People have become much more aware of the benefits of good health practices to stay safe from diseases. And that's where importantly, where the HR comes in here to prioritize health and well-being for all the people. I think making healthcare more accessible and affordable is something that we as HR leaders in our organizations, various organizations, have taken the lead, right? And to that effect, in the last 2 years have been amazingly a great experience that we as HR leaders could promptly come and engage and understand and realize where it needs to be addressed, and we picked it up from there, right? So not taking any more time into this, but really very excited to invite all of you present here to have a very engaged discussion. I begin by introducing each one of you, and we'll then request all of you to share your perspective of what's going on and what has been your experience in your organization with respect to employee healthcare and wellness, and how differently you all are experiencing the success stories that you all are co-creating in your organization. Let me introduce Rachna Mungi. Rachna is Lead Employee Benefit and Wellness at Dell Technologies, and she specializes in employee benefits and has a rich experience in aligning employee well-being with organization outcomes. So welcome, Rachna. Welcome to the panel.
Thank you.
We have Renu Rohtagi. She's Director of Human Resources and Communications at Air Liquide India, a world leader in gases and technologies and services for industry and health. We have Nagendra Kumar Singh, Senior Manager Human Resources at IFTAS. It's a subsidiary of RBI. So welcome, Nagendra.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have Rashmi Goyal, Senior Manager EHS at L'Oreal, a leading beauty brand and a brand that is pioneering into beauty tech. That's very interesting, Rashmi. So welcome everyone onto the discussion and the roundtable discussion today. So to begin this, I think the focus that I want to draw over here is the impact of technology, or the engagement and the partnering of technology and digitizing the entire health care and wellness topic that we are prioritizing by choice as organization, right? We as HR leaders in different capacity, in different engagements that we have planned, we have executed in the HR value chain, we have incorporated technology in recruitment, in onboarding, in performance management, in attendance tracking. I think large part of the entire HR as a practice has been highly, digitized, in most organizations, right? But taking up health and wellness, which is right now the cynosure of all corporates, prioritizing, bringing the element of awareness, accessibility, and affordability for all the employees is become so critical. And this brings us to the topic that how important is and how are we doing it as an organization, digitizing the health and wellness experience of all our employees. So To that effect, I will invite upon Rachna from Dell to really keen to know what are your thoughts on why do organizations need to prioritize on employee health and wellness to begin with? I mean, how does it contribute, in your thoughts, to the vision of the organization? Why do we potentially do what we are choosing to prioritize to do?
Thanks, Bulbul, and hello all. So happy to be here. I think Bulbul, in your introduction itself, you've said it right. The last 2 years have been an eye opener for us, all of us, and across the world in a manner which none of us would have ever encountered, right? We've been shaken out of our work seats and made to reflect upon the kind of lifestyles we lead. And somewhere there, obviously, there was a problem, and all of us have now started focusing that much more on our health and wellness than we would ever have as people ourselves, as persons. And I think that needs to translate down with what corporates are offering as well. Health and wellness becomes a very, very important aspect of an employee life cycle then. So 50 years back, HR was all about HR, admin, IR, all thrown into one and just looking at maybe hiring, retain, and exit. So that was all HR was about, and looking into the personal hygiene of employees. Are they getting food, etc., etc.? Are their workstations cleaned? From there, we, went on to a journey where HR itself becomes specialized fields of recruitment, talent and development, CNB, and CNB further saw further bifurcations over the last 10 years where there has been increased focus on employee benefits and wellness. And I think last 2 years has been an enormous jump in that space itself. You can't just say, okay, you have your PPF and gratuity and maybe a health insurance thrown in, and that's all we want to do as, under our benefits program. It has to be that much more to keep an employee engaged. So I think it's very, very important that as corporates, we focus in employee in providing support to our employees through our various extensive benefits and wellness programs. And digitization plays a huge part of it, of course, because the way we work itself has changed. Most companies are going the hybrid model. So and we'll touch upon it slowly, but I think just as employees are not really looking at just compensation or the label that a company brings in terms of their brand value in the market, but also how much can a company support in the entire employee life cycle through their benefits and wellness programs. So that's a reason why most companies are now looking into it deeply.
Yeah, I actually agree with you, Rachna. I think gone are the days where, where HR would just come and, meet the basic checkbox item and say, hey, we've scoped in your statutory requirements of providing you a insurance cover, your medical insurance cover, and we've looked after your gratuity and your PF, and well, that's huge, benefit that we are extending. But I think the world has moved to where, valuing the core resource to any organization creating huge outcomes is of people. I think creating that value and constantly wanting to keep upgrading that as an engagement point is top of the ask, right? So it's a constant endeavor to be able to keep doing it even better, each time that we kind of reach that mark, that hey, have we reached, are we creating enough engagement, are we giving enough value, is there an employer branding that we are establishing? So yes, I totally agree with your perspective. So thank you very much with your sharing, and I bounce off to Nagendra right now. Very keen to know, Nagendra, what is the kind of what's the kind of employee health and wellness activity that you guys are doing at IFTAS? Very keen to know how are you creating success stories out there?
Thank you, Bulbul, and it's wonderful being here amidst the best of the HR people from the faculty. Yeah, And here at IFTAS, I mean, let me tell you all a little about what IFTAS does. I mean, we as an organization, IFTAS as an organization, primarily you can call it a fintech, which contributes to the financial or the payments landscape of the country. We manage on behalf of Reserve Bank of India. Yes, we are an extended arm of Reserve Bank of India. So nationally critical payment system is what we primarily manage, the network front and the messaging part of it. So yes, why I wanted to bring that up before we talk on the use of technology that we are doing in the health and wellness front and how we are bringing it in. It's something that we are up 24 by 7, keeping our all the transactions that we do, NEFT, RTGS, everything. So it's our team which is in the background making it happen. Something very, very critical for the banking domain, banking sector in the country. Now, what we do, yes, this pandemic of COVID has kind of changed our outlook, our priorities, and I'm sure most of us will agree that for team members, it's redefined. It has redefined the whole perspective that we as HR people had about employee benefits and what they need and what they want. I mean, over the years, some recent survey that I was going through, now it's no more the compensation which is the top driver when people think of switching jobs or whatever. COVID has brought in a different perspective, a very, very important one. And in that, health, wellness, family, the work-life balance, all these things have taken their due importance, in any individual's life. This pandemic has taught us what is important to us as human. Money, yes, is, but it's our own people, their health, their wellness, their well-being. Something that has overtaken a lot of other things which we as HR people always thought are the ones which attract people or which motivate people. So to that, yes, I mean we as HR people's representative in the organization is something that our focus definitely has been attracted towards this. CNH, yes, I mean, has been of great help. Peak of the COVID, and that was the time when most of the team members, I mean, nation was in the lock. I mean, the entire world was in the lockdown. The facilities of whatever preventive and all the healthcare related things. Something that we said, let we can't risk our employees or we can't leave our employees, longing or running after those basic of the facilities that they needed. That's when we partnered with CNH, and I mean, we reached out to our employees offering whatever best healthcare facilities, wellness facilities that we could was available at that point in time, be it their any kind of tests or be it their consultations. Again, I mean, the virtual or the tele consultations, video consultation, and not only the employees, as I said, it's not only about individuals, also reaching out to their families. I mean, today's workforce constitutes of a very large population of, bachelors, spinsters working and with their parents somewhere back in some other city. So this has been a really great platform. I mean, what Connect and Heal has brought up to us, so that we include even their dependents to be part of this benefit program, and yeah, it has added a lot of value, and we are looking forward to, I mean, in days to come, integrating, the mindfulness into team members. I mean, it has COVID has been a very, very tough time. I mean, and then people have realized that it's the time that needs a lot of attention on their well-being and their wellness. So yeah, we are also, I mean, looking at having more of it into day-to-day business that we have, where we are more concerned about in days to come how we have our team members contributing to their best. They're at their best when it comes to performing or being contributing to the the financial landscape of the country.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nagendra, for acknowledging CNH and the and the contributions that CNH has made in the lives of your employees. I think, thank you very much. It's fantastic. Well, we cannot shy away from technology because that's and digitization in this space because that's the only way that we can move forward, right? I mean, we all understand that if we don't partner technology, we are just reducing our ability to reach the mark of what we want to do, right? While we don't, there are others who would reach and we would only be trying to catch up, right? So in an interview on the National Technology Day, our co-founder, Prashant Kashyap, said that technology and innovation and human expertise must go together in the digital age. We can enable better access and higher accountability of care using technology in this space. So to that effect, I think CNH is doing a fantastic job, right, in making healthcare accessible, comfortable, and also in many cases can curate solutions that you and me as HR leaders want to do that, right? Thank you for highlighting this point. My next question is to Renu. Hi, Renu.
Very good evening to everyone.
Hi, good evening. So, Renu, very keen to know what are your thoughts on, the involvement and of technology in improving, healthcare access to the different wellness programs that you are currently practicing. Very keen to know what are the different programs that you guys are doing.
I think you have touched the right point. In fact, I would. There's no second thought. What you spoke about the technology advancement. If you look at technology, has been really a revolutionary with the changing time. Like we started with this particular discussion that pandemic has actually accelerated the shift of remote to the hybrid work, setting up the entire thing significantly into the technology. And that point of time, I think it was only the technology which has actually given us the access to all the people, their families, in line with their wellness and in line with the healthcare, what they were looking at it. So if we look at it, the wellness efforts, such as Connect and Heal, I would like to emphasize and commend with a kind of agility, with a kind of technology support, with a kind of promptness and the proactivity in line with the support of healthcare. I think it is really a credible, I would say, the initiatives and also a very hybrid support being provided by Connect and Heal in time. Other than that, if you talk about what other technology healthcare initiatives we are driving in an organization, it's like fitness programs, online therapy sessions, and there are a lot of centralized digital wellness programs we have. It is in your hands, it is just made available in your pocket, on your hands, which is accessible to people. For instance, telehealth. People can actually allow to easily consult with the health providers, with the doctors, with the experts, the COVID experts, and I remember this Connect and Heal has substantially supported us 24/7 services during this health app or a telehealth. And if also you look at it in terms of, the technology has also supported by minimizing the exposure of the variants. People sitting at their homes, they were setting up their appointments, their consultation, and also the comfort of taking the treatment at their doorsteps. Also with the help of, advanced technology, what we're using in line with the machine learning, people are collecting, tracking their personal offerings. We are also conducting some kind of a health risk assessments, which is helping us to know that what kind of feedback, what kind of health parameters are going for employees, so that we can really organize some relevant health checkups for them in a certain frequent of time. So, if I have to really talk about it, technology is and will always remain the organization design when we talk about the wellness programs. And it is not only, harnessing the power of a technology, but it is also witnessing the benefits, if you look at it in the end. It's more of how you're really bringing that speed, how you're really engaging your employees. And finally, if I have to talk about, it is really giving a substantial increase in the productivity to the organization on a scale of technology.
Yes, Renu, I think it's goes without saying that the aid of technology and the online tools we have made healthcare easily accessible for people, even for people who are not sitting in one in one office and working, yet they are remotely working, the typical hybrid model that most organizations are operating in. All my employees are able to access it with just a click of a button, right? So I think CNH is doing a fantastic job there in trying to collaborate with all organizations, making sure employees at various corners of the map are able to engage, right? And we practice that same within CNH as well, right? What we also very keenly do is that use the aggregated data eyes, right? The inputs that are coming through different digital platforms to be able to analyze what kind of a creative solution, health and wellness solution we can really create, rather than just it being activity driven, that hey, these are the 3 activities we are doing, right? Which has been the age old pattern of how people have done things in the past. But I think as a fraternity, we are moving towards a lot more data driven approach, where we can very safely call it's a very, very strategically thought through wellness solution that we provide, rather than activities that we provide. So very keen to know, how does it happen in your organization? I mean, Rashmi, if you can help answer this question. I mean, how do you plan wellness and engagement at L'Oreal? I mean, is it well thought through? Is it structured? Is there a data point that you use? How do you come up with solutions towards wellness and healthcare for your employees?
Thank you, Bulbul. Namaste and good evening to everyone. I hope everyone is safe wherever they are. Thanks for that question, Bulbul. I am really honored and humbled to answer that. Yes, at L'Oreal, we believe that, as everyone said, we strongly believe that employees, the employees, they have the sense of belonging in the organization only when they think they are cared for. Yeah, because they ultimately contribute to the bottom line of the organization. So yes, L'Oreal is one of those organizations which carefully designs, outlines the program to ensure that we give the feeling, we give the confidence to employees that you are not only employed with us, we are a family. And how do we do that is, we have a structured engagement sessions. We draw out a calendar for the year. We divide the calendar into quarterly activities where in case if the employees are working in hybrid mode, they are not able to physically join in the office, they can attend these sessions. Their physical, mental well-being, financial well-being, all such sessions are planned and organized for the employees, and they can attend these sessions from wherever they are, whichever remote locations they are in. Other than that, we have something very specific called ergonomics, which is very much related to health at the workplace, workplace health and safety. So we organize such sessions to let people know that you should be healthy. Your well-being is of utmost priority to us, not only when you come to office to work amongst us. It is also important when you are working from a remote location, a location which is not designed to be your workplace. So there is something like ergonomics. We have employee assistance program, where employees just at the click of a button, they can just pick up the phone, they can talk to anonymous person, they can discuss about their stress issues. We plan out resilience sessions where we really want employees to understand how do they cope up. They bring a balance in their work and life, how to cope up with the stress. Yeah. Then as a part of EHS induction, since I'm the EHS manager for L'Oreal, this is very close to my heart. When I induct a new joiner in the organization, we clearly outline as to what you mean to us. What are we going to offer you? It's not only the remuneration that's going to come on your offer letter, but it's the culture, it's the environment that you're going to get along with it. The conducive enough to bring a strike a balance in work and life. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So the entire calendar of activities, these sessions, the engagements are planned. And the most important and the something that is very close to everyone, because I'm on the other side of the table, I'm the receiver of these benefits in my organization, are those catch-ups, the candid catch-ups that we have with our HR business partners, coffee catch-ups, conversations, when they really show interest talking to us about our well-being. Is everyone okay in your family? Recently, we heard so and so was affected with COVID in your family. Are you all right? Do you think you need any assistance, any further support from the organization? So those kind of conversations, that kind of a setup and culture really boosts the morale of the employees. So that's how we work at L'Oreal.
Understood. Are you able to measure the outcomes created by these engagements in your organization?
Yes, certainly we do that, because that's the most important. Until unless we measure, until unless we have a review mechanism, we won't be able to improvise our efforts. Yeah, I would also like to thank Connect and Heal for that, because Connect and Heal has come up with those analytics, those analysis of what kind of where are the instances where employees reached out to Connect and Heal, where did we not do well, or probably we could have done better. So such data points actually help us to improvise, to take this to the next level, wherein we understand, okay, the employee has been supported with so and so benefits. However, the ask is so much. So the next level of efforts would be to reach to that level. I would also like to give an example where we got to understand that during COVID, we were not able to reach out to our employees. We were physically not able to reach out. They were in remote locations and all. So we had developed, we had got this software onboarded, where we had this employee outreach program with a click of a button. I could send a message out to all the L'Oreal employees across India, 1,500 plus employees, to just check on their well-being. Yeah. And when the data that we got at the end of the day gave us a clear indication of whether the employee needs support, or the employee is safe, or the employee is not able to reach out to us. So data points always help the organization to improvise. So they must be and they should be used to kind of move to the next level.
That's fantastic. I'm so glad to know that we have been able to aid you the way
Of
you
course.
did.
Of course.
Thank you very much for that. Passing off to Rachna, very keen to know, coming from a tech organization there, how do you see, really, how do you really plan the entire health and wellness of your employees? I mean, what's the data point that you use, and how do you really plan that engagement and say that, these are we choose to take on let's say annual health checkup, and why we need to take on to certain tests, and why not anything else, why we choose to do these activities throughout the year. Very keen to know from you, how do you guys plan it at Dell?
So, interesting question, Bulbul. And I think, as Rashmi correctly said, for every event that we do, it's very important that we get feedback, we get a pulse of what the employees are asking for. And somewhere I feel the business leaders also play an important part in giving that inputs to us, as to what their employees are asking. Because obviously they may be having much more connects than we as HR would be, or maybe rather as a benefits and wellness person, I may not be having those direct connects with employees, which the leader would be. So it became very important for us to play along with the leaders to understand the pulse of the employees, to find out what was the ask coming through. And that helps us building that entire year's calendar, or even, when it comes to improvising our benefits, we hear the voice of the employee. We do drive in those employee surveys at a global level, asking for what is important to employees, and then we break it down via countries, and then pass that feedback on to the relevant HR team, saying this is where this is where your employees are asking and then we do those analysis. Where is it that we are falling short? Where can we improve? What is the new things that we need to definitely bring in? And accordingly, the years go by because there's always improvisation, there's always innovation. And I I think pretty much that's about it. You do certain things and you get the data back on it, and that helps you build out the next charter for your other programs or benefit launches.
Right. So do you use or do you encourage your employees to use any particular digital, platform or a tool which potentially can map their health and wellness?
So we don't have a specific tool as such. We do have internal tools, as I said, our survey launches and all. We have come from a space where wellness was more about doing those 1 or 2 sessions in a year, and that's about it, and benefits was the standard benefits, to now where we are thinking long term, where we are thinking that none of this needs to be connected to the location where an employee works from, but needs to be in the same flexible manner that we are offering to our employees. Choose where you work from. You can be logged in from any island. We are providing you the necessary resources to be able to work from. I think our benefits and wellness initiatives also need to reflect what we as an organization speak. So in the last 2 years, we've had a great partnership with Connect and Heal. We launched our telemedicine benefit last year. It was pre-COVID, so we launched it at a time when we were not expecting COVID to go at in the way it did, that downstream impact. And we were really able to take this to our employees, saying, use this. We are here with Connect and Heal to help you support. And obviously, the entire medical system was failing at one point in time, but Connect and Heal was able to, turn the tides and bring back that support that we are looking for. And it was really helpful. Similarly, going forward, we are looking at digitizing our benefits and wellness space to a much, much larger extent, where it's, as I said, it's not restricted to the office that you're working for. Also, it's not restricted to the employees. We want to be able to make that impact for their families, their parents. It will start small. We are addressing a number of initiatives where improvising our insurance plans, bringing in more wellness in a digital format. It's a global digital platform where you can avail their EAP services or their fitness services, your psychologist, or you just have these mental wellness sessions, and it's a click of a button. You can go through it if you really
That's
need
right.
to.
Yeah.
So I think it's important, and we are going down the right way, and we then have partners like you to help support us in that journey.
Thank you. That's totally our pleasure. Thank you very much for partnering with Connect and Heal. Right. So, very keen to know if any one of you, can answer this. Renu, Nagendra, this question is for both of you. Take your turn to answer. What kind of a digitization are you really practicing in terms of prioritizing health, or let's say kind of allowing your employees to prioritize their health and being aware of how they feel, what they feel, what's their state of mind, how stressed are they, how are they really balancing their life and work outcomes, right? Because we all know that unless we are able to create a holistic solution, right, to increasing productivity for any employee, the curve will be always one-sided, right? So to that effect, very keen to know what kind of activities are you doing or encouraging, for that matter, right, to be able to bring that awareness to your employees, saying that, hey, it's time that you need to take a break. Okay, it's time that proactively you need to do a couple of let's say tests, for example, to be able to understand, what's your health condition, right? And rather be preventive than be curative, right? So very keen to know, Renu, over to you, basically, if you just want to share how are things being held at your end.
Thank you, Bulbul. Again, it's a very interesting one, and it will also help us to give you the insight, like we were talking about. It's very important to build and inculcate the healthy behavior, and it is always the health expenses will go down, the awareness will increase when we are really trying to bring it to the employees. For instance, we have a lot of policies in line with your leave, take your leaves, spend time with family, but it was never been seriously taken by employees. So we always look at the end of the year, the leaves are getting lapsed. People are not really balancing their life with the fact, because everybody is trying to prioritize their work. During the COVID times, we've seen people have really been burnt out, back-to-back work, their presence, their digital, I would say that stigma of being connected with the computers all the time, which has really taken a big toll. When we look at the trends of their sick leave, it has substantially increased. So the point we would like to highlight here is that we have tried to give them the fatigue leaves, One is the fatigue leaves. Go and spend time with your family. Take a total break from the work. Try to, also create awareness with the fact that sponsoring the medical health checkup in a frequent intervals. It's just not that once in a year you're going for a medical checkup, but we are sponsoring, because we understand, also introducing certain financial incentives so that an employee can go through and have their own medical checkups, and also not only with the employee, but also with their families. We believe that, when we talk about a definition of a care and belonging, it starts from individual and their family.
Absolutely.
And this is where we have extended the benefits to the employee, their families who are a part of a medical insurance, to undergo certain intervals of their medical checkup. Take those leaves, and these leaves are again being sponsored by the organization twice in a year. Go for your checkup. Fatigue leave is another one. We are also studying the sick leave. What is the tendency of a sick leave employees are taking? How frequently these employees are taking those sick leaves? Trying to understand the reasons. Organizing the stress, de-stress, detoxification kind of a sessions, and most importantly, like what Rashmi was speaking about, resilience. So these are the few trends which we are studying, and it's again technology is the one which is helping us to study and take care of our employees. So data speaks louder than the act, and that's where we need to act upon. So these are a few things what we are progressing, and also with the fact that employee assistance program is one of the majorly ones which has been used by the employees. It is not only extended to the employees but also to their children. If you look at it during this COVID time, the children are the one who are most impacted. And that's where we've extended the services, the benefits to their children also, so that they can take an assistance there. So these are a few things which we tried, like we believe in continuous improvement and will continue to improve with the fact that wellness is the priority for us.
Yes, absolutely. I totally, take cognizance of that. So thank you, Renu, very much. I think, as a CTO of Connect and Heal, I also take pride in saying that as CNH, as an organization, we are already leveraging technology to create a very holistic, comprehensive end-to-end healthcare management ecosystem for our clients and also internally for our employees, right? And we continue to get better at it, right? So we bring together doctors, paramedics, emergency care providers, medical dispatchers. We get people to engage and make sure that their requirement, their ask is met, whether it is a wellness requirement, a healthcare requirement, how we care for our clients, we do also care the same for our own internal employees. And at CNH, we also have wellness calendars that we run, right? We encourage our employees to use our own platform, absolutely, so that, for themselves and for their family too, right? So Having said that, I think it's very exciting to know that all you HR leaders are taking the cause of employee healthcare and wellness on priority, not as an activity and a checkbox item, but then linking it to the business outcomes that we want to create collectively in alignment and partnership with the business as an organization, right? But also to know that we are doing it in a very, very scientific, data-driven approach, right? So to that effect, I think this little time is possibly not enough. We possibly need a couple of hours more, and we should engage as well at different time slots to discuss more about the best practices that are happening in various organizations and kind of share best practices amongst ourselves. I do also see that some of our audiences are very keen in on asking questions, and I would want to invite upon a couple of questions that are coming in our way. Let's see what are the questions that come on the chat box. Can we open up questions, Kasif?
Yes, Bulbul, you can. You want me to read out the questions for you?
Yes, please.
Okay, so the first question we have is, do you have improvement goals for your employees' medical team?
Okay, that's a very interesting question. And I think what we discussed between Rachna, Rashmi, Renu, and Nagendra, I think the effort is to continuously to get better. But very keen to know, since Rashmi, you work very closely, I mean, you are the champion of the EHS team. What kind of goals do you see as a EHS leader to inculcate, in the team that you have there? What's the next level?
Thank you for that question, whoever has asked it. A very interesting one. So, well, EHS is all about commitment. It's not a compliance matter. So setting goals just to kind of have a tick box exercise, no, we go beyond it. We seek commitment from the employees. So as Renu rightly mentioned, that it starts from the behavior. So what we do is we have something called as proactive behavioral parameters. We call them proactive KPIs, and then reactive KPIs. So in the proactive KPIs, we tell people both on safety, environment, and health part that you have to get yourself checked. Have you taken your vaccines? Has your family members checked? Have you gone to like we have CNH app on our mobiles? Have you been there? Have you updated your profile? Have you had consultation? What's your feedback? So we deliberate those attempts to let people come up with their feedback. If we don't drill down to that level, when it'll be a very kind of a silent period. So we set those goals. Again, I would like to reiterate that these are not number driven. I cannot have a number to these goals. These are more behavioral KPIs. So we tend to bring behavioral change in people by setting up these guidelines. So we tell people, this is the period defined for you. Get yourself checked. Have you checked? We keep sending reminders. Likewise for safety, we have targets of whether or not you are able to observe a near miss or an intervention in your organization. Do you know whom to report these interventions, these feedback? Have you stopped a near miss from happening? Have you stopped an incident from happening?
Correct.
So likewise, we tend to bring, again, behavioral change through these parameters, through these KPIs. So that's how I define my goals.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I think that was a very sharp answer to the question, and brilliant question also to ask. And it's a journey, guys. I mean, I think we've been phenomenal in terms of, quickly picking up the rope from where, pandemic just came unannounced, and, everybody in their own capacity tried to engage and lift up things from where, we were not prepared for what's coming up. We were not sure of what the, workforce fabric is going to look like, right? I think the HR fraternity has done a phenomenal job in redefining health and wellness and bringing to where we are today. And that's exactly where we, you and me are discussing today, the ability that CNH has brought in, technology-enabled health and wellness to the doorstep of your employees, right? So Nagendra, hi Nagendra. Hi. So last question to you. What's your aim in terms of bringing in digitization for further on from what you're doing before we wrap up?
Digitization in the space of health
Yes,
and wellness for
yes.
our team members. Okay. I mean, again, something I would give a little credit again to CNH. I mean, we are actually in the process of associating and understanding what is that the team needs at the moment. I mean, we are in the process of having this survey, understanding what team actually needs, what they want. I mean, in terms of the health, wellness, and what is that so we are trying to understand that first through a survey that we are doing at the moment. And yes, the burnout which has happened with the overuse, I would say, of technology. I mean, there's a lot of, I would say, digital noise with, so much of information overload, app overload, at work, which I know I'm, talking about it. So that is something that we want to understand, dive a little deeper, understand how we can cut that a little again, and again, it's technology which has helped us, and we are looking at limiting or using it in a way which adds on to our colleagues, team members, wellness again, their mindfulness again. I mean, it's we understand that in this information age, there are so many apps, so many platforms which distracts people, disengages, with the actual or the ones which really make, which are meaningful ones. So yes, that's what we are looking at in days to come.
Perfect, great. I think well, that's a journey that you and me are making together. I think we sooner or later we will all be there together talking and sharing. So today, when traditional wellness programs are no longer an effective solution, I think using intelligence of technology and reaping its benefit is the only way out, right? And it's technology that rapid about through COVID pandemic, and we can also use this journey or this enablement to possibly avoid the next pandemic of stress and mental health, right? Because well, we can't shy away from it. So let's disassociate burnout with corporate life and begin a new chapter of employees' wellness, resilience, self-efficacy, and growth, and create great organization outcomes, right? And I am quite sure we all resonate the same thoughts over here, right? We do also have, I think we are just a few minutes away from the closure of the session, but nonetheless, do we have any more questions, Kasif, our way?
We do have a lot of questions, Bulbul. I think I can take time, or we can take one last question and then we can wrap it
All
up.
right. And the rest of the questions we can always respond through email, right?
Yes. So one of the questions is, do you engage one wellness partner or multiple partners? And in case of multiple partners, how do you integrate the services so it offers better experience? Do you feel a single partner can provide best of all services? How do you address it if this is a challenge?
That's a very good question. Can I request? I like to know what are Renu's. What are your thoughts on it, Renu Rohtagi?
It's a good point, and it's a good question, and I like the intelligent question. So it's like wellness is not only limited to your only specific to your it's overall health, but there are various segments to it. It's a spiritual wellness, it's your digital wellness, it is your burnout wellness. There are a lot of initiatives, and one is medical wellness, which talks about your health coverage. I firmly believe if one of the vendor has or a service provider has all this, uh, one stop for us. So it's good for us to, experiment, but it is always good to look at it. What are the best practices going around in other various service providers so that we can really bundle it up and see what best we can give it to the people. As an organization, we always look forward for what best we can do for our employees, which is user friendly, which is employee friendly, and which is health friendly. So it is always good to experiment with the multiple options, and also giving an opportunity to see what kind of feedback is coming across from people in terms of services, in terms of benefits, and in terms of usage is concerned. You know, so I think keeping in mind various garments of the health, your wellness, it is always good to experiment with multiple service providers.
Interesting view. Appreciate your views on that. Kasif, what's our next
So
question?
last question for the day is, how do you measure ROI for various wellness initiatives?
Anyone can take it. I mean, Rachana, would you like to share your thoughts on that?
Yes, absolutely. As I said, at least at Dell, we do an annual employee survey with specific asks on, the benefits and wellness initiatives that we do, and we ask employees to rate. So an ever increasing and improving score is a definite indication that our employees are happy with the way we are progressing. And then we do take their comments very seriously where they've asked us to improve on certain aspects. So an ROI definitely, a good indicator is how happier our employees are year on year.
Yeah, we did discuss this point actually while during our discussion. What are the outcomes that we are looking at creating through all the health and wellness engagements that we are doing for our employees? I think the ability to create phenomenal outcomes through enhancing productivity of our employees, reducing burnout, reducing absenteeism. I think this would be some high indicators of a good work-life balance, what we as HR leaders can give. I think that should be a great indicator, right? And well, it all translates into business outcomes, right? So perfect. That's a brilliant response. Thank you very much, Rachna.
Thank
So
you.
Kasif, should we then wrap up here?
Yes, Bulbul. I think we do have a lot of questions pouring in, but I think with the time and constraints, so I think we'll have to wrap it up for this time.
So,
And definitely we can look it up next time. And thank you so much for everyone, and wishing you all a happy International Women's HR Day.
Thank you.
So thank
Have a
you,
great
Rachna.
time.
Thanks, Rashmi.
Have
Thank
a great
you,
weekend.
and thank you, Nagendra, for coming and sharing your thoughts, scoping in the time to be here with us. And it's been a pleasure discussing the point on health and wellness and prioritizing that for ourselves as HR leaders, as a cause, and partnering with the business, enabling with technology in creating great stories. So thank you very much once again. Take care, keep shining, keep inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Gurul. I think you have
you.
really engaged us well. It was
Bulbul.
quite,
Yeah.
you hooked us. You hooked us. Thank you.
Thank you. Pleasure.
You
Thank
Thank
you.
take
you.
care.
Thank you.
Thank you, team.
Wonderful,
Thank you,
wonderful
Ben.
being here.
Bye.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thank you. Have a safe weekend, everyone. Stay safe.
Great weekend,
Bye.
everyone, too.
Thank
Bye.
you.